Again this week. So this is our third week.
Yes, third week.
So it's been really good. I've been really sort of getting into the guests that we've had on the show, and today I'm really excited to have Tiffany on the show.
Hi everyone.
Tiffany Bao, everyone. The reason why I asked Tiffany on the show today was because, you know, one of the things that I know from Tiffany. Tiffany is not only one of the trainers at EBT, but she is also a dear friend as well. I consider her my sister, probably a little bit too close, but I wanted to share the story about Tiffany because, you know, it's a very inspirational story, and it's a very it's a story that, you know, a lot of us sort of take for granted, that we think that, you know, life is just happening to us as opposed to we are causing the life that we have. And Tiffany has been able to cause that over the years that I've known her, and I wanted to share the story with you because, you know, the big thing about what we do is we work on mindset, and we want to be able to inspire you to be able to take those steps forward, whether that is to become a personal trainer, whether that's to be able to do anything in life. I am here to be able to create a space where people can share, and people can actually get something for themselves, and so that way they move their game forward. Because, you know, health and fitness is not just health and fitness. Health and fitness incorporates the whole entire life, right?
Yes.
And so that's why I wanted to have Tiffany on the show today. So let's begin. Yeah. Now I apologize we're a little bit late today because I was running late. We're having a bit of trouble with the Facebook Live thing, but it seems to be working right now. So let's see if we can make this the best one ever. Okay, so Tiff, let's you know, look, I met you. When did we first meet? It must have been nearly 10 years ago, right?
Yes.
And you, when I first met you, you couldn't speak English.
No, I couldn't. Back to that time, no, and I didn't know anything about fitness.
And nothing about fitness either.
Yes.
So just tell me a little bit about you, and, you know, where you come from, and what's brought you to, you know, this point today.
Sure, absolutely. So basically, I was born and raised in mainland China, and I'm from northeast of China. And then I studied and worked in Beijing. And then back to that time, fitness wasn't really popular in mainland people, and then English wasn't either. So I met my husband, and then he introduced me to Nate, and I did my first session with Nate. It was a group session, I remember that. And I in the beginning, I didn't expect too much on that. And after the session, I found wow, training is so fun. Even though I couldn't speak any English at that time, I couldn't even understand what he taught. But body language, inspiration, I found it's so fun. And then since then, I started to train. It's been a long time, 10 years, but I'm really happy you took me into this magic world.
World. And what, you know, here's my question for you, is that, you know, when we trained together, you know, we couldn't converse in language.
Yes.
When did you start to learn how to speak English? When did you start? Because, like, now you have a lot of confidence in your English, right? So I'd love to be able to sort of hear, you know, your take on, you know, when you started to learn English, and sort of like the turning point for you to say, hey, I feel confident being able to speak in another language.
Sure. So basically, I worked in Beijing for several years after graduated from university, and I moved to Singapore to study my master degree of business, and then I started to learn English. And after I graduated, I moved to Hong Kong, but back to that time, I wasn't really confident on speaking. Reading and writing, of course, I don't really feel there was any issue, but speaking was a big thing for me. And then I remember the first job Nate gave me was talk to clients through phone call, and I was really terrified. And I asked for help. I'm like, I don't really think I'm confident to talk to people, especially through phone call. And Nate, I remember back to that time, and he introduced me a form. And we went to that form, and I'm like, what's this form is? It sounds really strange. But after I joined, it's a 3 days class, and then it's a mind, it changed my mind totally. I noticed there are little talks in my mind which they are basically meaningless, but they stopped me and stopped me to speak to people. And then I found, okay, I shouldn't care about that. I started to talk to people face to face through the phone call, and I found like, okay, I'm really confident. There is nothing can stop me, and then that's how I feel confident on speaking English. Yeah.
So you were learning English, and then you did this program called the Landmark Forum, right?
Yes.
And from that Landmark Forum, you sort of got that there was voices in your head telling you,
Yes.
oh, I don't know how to speak English, so I don't feel confident. But out of the program, you realized there were just voices in your head.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. For me, I've done the Landmark Forum, the whole curriculum, and that was one of the things that I got from the program as well, is that, these voices in their head, they rule our lives.
Exactly.
And when we allow that to rule our lives, then it's really difficult to be able to really achieve anything. And what I got from the program as well is exactly that. Those voices in my head were just voices in my head, and I can acknowledge those voices, and I can just say, okay, just ignore those voices, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So now you came working with EPT and you were on our front desk
Yes.
for a number of years. Tell me about the transition, from office manager to now being a personal trainer.
So in the beginning, I found it's really, really interesting talking to clients and know their stories, know what we can help them. And at the same time, because I always join the education meeting with our staff, and I found, actually training is really fun. I noticed a lot of things, a lot of knowledge, and at the same time, I remember back to my 20s, I got my lower back pain. And then I saw many doctors, and then they told me basically we can't help you because you naturally have flat back. And I didn't understand what that mean, and I just thought I will have back pain forever. And then because I joined the education class so many times, and I decided to try on myself. And I did a corrective exercise, and I built the strength, flexibility, mobility, stability on myself. And I found, somehow my back is totally okay. There's no pain at all. And I remembered in the beginning, I couldn't really get up from my bed. It's really, really, for me,
Wow.
I was really struggling on that. I have to roll to the side, and I could really get up from the bed. And so for now, so easy for me to jump from my bed. So it's so different. It's like a life-changing exercise. And after that, I feel like, okay, I want to share my story, my experience with others. And of course, I want to help others to change their life too. From the doctor told you cannot change, to actually you can move freely. That is really inspired me, and then that's the reason why I decided to be a trainer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had lower back pain
Yes.
to the point you couldn't even get out of bed.
No.
And when you spoke to doctors, the doctors that you saw, because the doctors that I've worked with, and I know, generally they send them to us because they trust our program and so forth. But the doctors were saying to you that you couldn't take this back pain away, you've got it for life, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
But now that you've done this program, you know, what do you sort of see as what do you see as the possibility for not only for yourself but also for others?
So basically, I would say there is no perfect posture for most of the people, but actually from the exercise, we can help ourselves to from low doses to move our posture better, and from the flat back, we can create a curve on our lower back to improve our performance at the same time reduce the pain. So, but of course, this needs you to help us. You need to work by yourself and then to see the result. Otherwise, it won't work. And then it's I would say it's a long journey. Cannot be achieved in 1 month, 2 months. It took me around a year to totally no pain.
And how long ago was that?
So
When did you have the back pain?
It was long. I couldn't really remember. On my 20s, I think in the 21, 22, I got my lower back pain.
Wow.
I really shocked back to that time.
Wow, 21?
Yeah, I felt like, what's wrong with me? And then the doctor told me, because your spine has no curve on your lower back. So that's the reason why. And I found like it's really, really hard time for myself because I was too young. And now I found like, okay, I'm at my 30s, but I'm be able to move freely, and I can do handstand.
Wow.
So yes, so it's like we can do whatever we want to do, but we need to do it correctly. We need some support.
Yeah.
And we need some professional suggestions.
Yeah, absolutely. So being able to do it correctly is critical, especially not only just to not hurt yourself, but also be able to follow the process so that way you achieve it. Exactly. And I would even say that you have to even be consistent.
Yes.
Yeah. So how many times were you sort of training a week to do your handstands?
I do that quite a lot, but of course I still do my corrective exercise to maintain my posture. So I train myself around 4 to 5 times a day. A week.
Wow, I was going to say 4 times a week. 4 times a day. That's amazing.
No, 4 times a week.
You'd think she wasn't even doing any work.
No.
But 4 times a week.
Yes.
Yep, cool. And what do those sort of sessions look like for you?
So basically, I do corrective exercise, and then I do upper body training, lower body training, core training, and my handstand training. So I separate them.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And just for all of you guys out there, corrective exercise is merely just working on, stretching muscles that are tight.
Yes. Strengthening
muscles that are weak, so that way your body starts to balance up. And like Tiff said, is like we all have different postures. We have flat back, we have sway back, we have kyphosis, we have lordosis.
Yes.
You've also got scoliosis. So all of those sort of things. Our body adapts to what we have, and it works within that. But the problem is because of the lifestyle that we lead and the amount of sitting that we do, or we overcompensate because we're just doing one activity. Like for example, if you were just doing dragon boating, for example, which is all one side, or golf or something like that, you pick up muscle imbalances. And so over time, what ends up happening is that's when we get a pinched nerve, or we pull a muscle or something like that. So what we need to do is we need to correct your posture, and somewhat, just a little, just so that way it adds a little bit of a gap. So that way you don't hurt yourself again. Okay, so to be able to take someone from a very rounded shoulders person to upright and perfect posture, that may not necessarily happen with everyone.
Yes.
But but what you need to do is you need to be able to correct the posture enough so that way you don't experience that pain anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And when you said to me that you had to roll out of bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the that's what I call the pain teacher. And the pain teacher is really good because it teaches you that if you are in pain, you need to do something about it.
Exactly.
And you did something about it.
Yeah, I tried it on myself and I found it successful. So I want to share that with you guys. And then if you are experience any pain among your body, you can contact us. We can help you for sure.
That's awesome. So you're a personal trainer.
Yes.
What else? What qualifications? What other qualifications do you have?
I also did nutrition course.
Nutrition course. Okay,
Yes.
cool. And so, you know, I always find nutrition always one of those things, right? Because we all know what we need to do.
I would say most of the people, we think we know what to do.
Ah, okay. So please explain. What do you mean by we think we know what to do?
So a couple of years ago, I got a hair losing problem, and it was really critical because I got like more than 10 spots with no hair on my head.
Yeah.
And I thought about, what's wrong with me? And I saw quite a lot of doctors, and then they say probably because of pressure. But I thought about that. I don't really think because of pressure. I'm a quite positive person. I don't really think anything can drag me down to lose my hair. And then I noticed maybe my foot, my diet, because I used to prepare the meal for the whole week, and I eat exactly the same thing every day, and then I thought maybe that's the reason why, but I didn't know how to do, what to do, and then what I can do, and I joined the course and I finished the nutrition course. I found okay, I shouldn't just eat exactly the same thing every single day. Even though I have my protein, I have my carb, I have my fat, I have my veggie, but still I need quite a lot of nutrients, but not only from one protein, one kind of protein, not only from chicken. I need beef, I need pork, I need fish, and at the same time I should rotate them, not only just focus on one thing. And then the other thing I found that's really I think it's not only from me, from a lot of people, we think fat is bad thing. So we only choose very, very low fat milk instead of the whole milk. And then we don't really eat the fat. We think they are really bad. Actually, they are not. Some very healthy fat can really help us, like avocado, nuts, and whole milk. That's something I never really noticed until I finished the course. And then I on the other hand, I feel like nutrition is not just one month thing. It's a lifelong journey. We need to do that. Not only like this period, I want to lose 10 kg, I just do now for a month. Actually, no. You need to do that forever. So creating a behavior is more important. Just focus on what you eat.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, one of the biggest pieces is that we focus on protein, fats, and carbs.
Yes.
In the basic nutshell, that's what we need to do: is how many proteins, fats, and carbs that makes us feel optimum. But the problem, what a lot of people forget, is exactly what you mentioned. When you were losing your hair, is that one of the things that I noticed with your diet was very much just the same thing every single day.
Yes.
And I've seen that a lot with bodybuilders, is that they'll just have chicken breast.
Yes.
And then they'll have their broccoli and whatever. But you've got to remember is that our body before we had modernization and colonization and things like this, we had a very, very wide diet, and we used to have a lot of nutrients and minerals and vitamins in our diet. So right now in our food chain, and you could probably name it just with your own diets, is that we tend to gravitate to 8 or more types of food, and that's it.
Yes.
And and in the case with you, Tiff, is that when you were just eating, I think it was like beef and choy sum,
yes,
and some rice, right?
Yes.
And that was pretty much the 3 things they had in a diet each day.
Yeah.
And a lot of people forget that we need to get as many different types of red, green, yellows, colors of vegetables in our diet. The fats is really important too. You know,
Yes.
a lot of people just go, oh, low fat because it's got the calories. But we need a lot of fats because it helps with the metabolism. And one other thing is that when we're born, in the first 5 years, you will find every doctor and every nutritionist saying that your child must have full fat, saturated fat in their diet for the first 5 years because it actually helps with brain development. And so we've got to be wary that, you know, even though I agree that having so much fat in our diet will make us, you know, will add to the calories, but it's really necessary for the metabolic processes. And so what I always suggest to people, and you know what you've learned as well, is that we need to make sure that we do keep fat in our diet because it's good for our skin, it's good for our hair, it's good for the cells in our bodies. Exactly. So it's really, really needed. So you know, when you think about, you know, how much fat is in it, just keep thinking of the only fat that you really need to avoid is trans fat.
Exactly.
Right? And trans fat is like hydrogenated vegetable oils is one. Any fat that's been contaminated. Margarine is also another fat that I have people avoid. And it's funny, you know, if you went back 20 years ago, everyone would say avoid butter. Right? But
yes.
Butter is actually really, really beneficial for us. Now, like I said, you know, we also still got to look at how many calories we're actually doing as well, and what we to lose weight. But we still need fat in our diets to be able to function. And I'm you know, and if you do want some resources around fat, there's a great book called Fats That Heal and Fats That Kill by Dr. Udo Erasmus. So, you know, these are sort of, you know, resources that we've called in over the years. So here's my question. Okay, here's a question. We already got a question coming in. What oils are dangerous? So like we said, the ones that you want to avoid is trans fat and hydrogenated vegetable oils. You want to avoid you know, saturated fat is actually great to cook with, but just be wary that you don't want to be cooking with vegetable oil. Okay, that's the one you want to be careful of. Also, how you contain the oils as well is making sure that it's in either a glass or it's in metal or a stainless steel, because what happens is the oil leaches the chemicals from the plastic and into the oil, so it spoils the oil. So just be wary of that. Now here's my next question. Who do you, where do you see yourself in 5-10 years time? You know, in work, in life. You know, what's your vision?
So for me, in 5 years, I still want to be a trainer, and I want to help more than 100 clients to achieve their goals. That is my 5 years vision. Yes, and then for 10 years vision, actually I haven't think that far, but I will keep working on what I really love to work, which is the fitness industry for sure, and try my really best to inspire more people to do corrective exercise. Yes.
Awesome.
To reduce pain.
That's awesome. And so who are your role models? Do you have any role models, or do you have any mentors or anything like that?
I feel like role models, there are so many in my life, because I would say there is no perfect person in the world, but their personality.
effectiveness in my day-to-day, you know, in whatever I'm up to. You know, it's funny, you know, I met a friend a couple of weeks ago, and he said to me, because he knew, you know, we used to work together a few years ago, and he said to me, he says, "Are you still really disorganized?" And I was like, wow, you know what? That's the perception that I had, you know, many years ago, and I thought I was organized. And you know, after the program, it's what I really got was just that, you know, I don't have to be so overwhelmed anymore. I can just be in the moment and put stuff behind me, and then just move forward and get a clearing to be able to create whatever I want. And you know, when you mentioned, you know, 5-year plan, you want to be a personal trainer, 10-year plan, you're not really sure. I'm not even really sure what I want to do with my temples either. I mean, I have a bunch of things that I've written down and so forth, but you know, I know right now what I really want to do, and it sounds like what you really want to do is be a personal trainer. And I think it's really inspiring. You know, and I think when she said 100 people, she wants to get 100 people results. Right?
Exactly.
So, you know, not everyone is going to get the results, because, hey, at the end of the day, it's you.
Exactly.
That has to do the work. We will give you the guidance. We will give you the information. We will be able to, in a way, keep you accountable to what you say. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you. So,
Absolutely.
you know, what I got from Tiffany's share is like, you know, she had a goal that she wanted to do, and then she just got into action around it. And
Exactly.
rather than attach, you know, oh, it's too hard, oh, you know, life gets in the way and so forth, just keep in mind, actually no, don't keep in mind, just do it.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Well, look, thank you so much for being on the Facebook Live today. I really appreciate you being able to share your story. Is there anything you want to share with everyone before you go?
That's all for today. But guys, if you are interested in corrective exercise, call us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Contact us.
And really good time to do a bit of a plug as well. We're running a 21-day challenge, or
Exactly.
I don't like saying challenge. It's 21-day creating a healthy habit program. And what that means is over the next 21 days, we will give you the tools, we will give you the coaching, we will give you the training. We will also give you that accountability. We'll give you a little bit of a kick up the arse if you need it. But really what it's about is about you creating a habit. And once you've got that habit, you can catapult from there. And it's an opportunity to be able to come in and try our service, because many people don't really know what we do. But if you do want to explore that, then please reach out to us, and you can post below, or you can DM us, and I'll actually post the link in the chat, so you can reach out that way too.
Look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Yes. Thanks very much, guys. All right. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.